It's time to predict the scores of week 20 of this 2023-2024 championship season. 12 games to predict, taking place on Friday the 8th of December and Saturday the 9th of December. Last week, game week 19 in the Superbru Predictions League, top scorer with a lovely score of 16.5 points was 10step_YT. 10step runs his own YouTube channel, of course. How that affects the overall leaderboard for the season? Well, top of the shop once again is Alex Cochrane on 216.5 points, followed in second place by Ferris77 on 206 points. So the action kicks off on Friday evening when Coventry City take on Birmingham City. Coventry now 2 wins in the last 7 matches, and it's just 1 win for Birmingham. This one, I think Coventry will bounce back after that defeat against Ipswich Town, where they narrowly lost 2-1, and Birmingham, okay, they carved out a draw, but it was against strugglers Rotherham in that match. So I can see the Sky Blues winning this one, and I fully expect them to come away with all 3 points in a 2-1 victory. We then move on to the Saturday fixtures. This takes place at 12:30 at Ewood Park between Blackburn Rovers and Leeds United. Leeds now 5 wins in their last 6 matches. And Blackburn Rovers suffered defeat, surprisingly, against the Owls of Sheffield Wednesday in the last fixture. Tight one to call. Blackburn fairly strong at home, however. Leeds on a great run at the moment. I'm going to go for a 2-0 away victory, especially with that forward line. The likes of Perot and Dan James are off. Somerville as well, they're all firing on all cylinders at the moment. We then move on to the Stadium of Light. Again, this one takes place at 12:30 on Saturday, where Sunderland, who've just sacked manager Tony Mowbray, surprisingly, well, from my point of view, and watching a lot of fan reactions as well, they're all saying that it's been a bit of a shock and a surprise. Coming up against the West Brom side, who've now won 5 matches in their last 6 matches, and it was a narrow defeat last time out at home against Leicester City. Can Sunderland, without Tony Mowbray in charge, beat this West Brom side? Not sure. It's only 2 wins in their last 6. West Brom looking good at the moment, really good going forward. I think they'll come away with all 3 points in a narrow 2-1 victory. We then move on to the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs, where Cardiff City take on Millwall. I will be in attendance at this match. It's now 2 defeats on the bounce for Cardiff, but they have played high-flying West Brom and Southampton, where Millwall just 1 win in their last 6, and it was a draw against Sunderland in their last fixture. So, tight one to call this one. Cardiff haven't scored in the last 2 matches as well, so I don't think there'll be many goals in this one, but I think the Bluebirds will just sneak it 1-0. We then move on to the John Smith Stadium, where Huddersfield take on Bristol City. Huddersfield, even though they've been hard to beat, they're not winning games. And Bristol City is back-to-back defeats now against Norwich and Southampton. I'm going to have to sit on the fence on this one. I think Bristol City, okay, they're currently, 14th in the table, and Huddersfield just teetering on the edge of that relegation zone. I think this is going to end up in another draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. We then move on to the King Power Stadium, where Leicester City, okay, it was a 2-1 victory against West Brom, but if they'd lost that match, I think Ipswich Town would have leapfrogged them into first position. Taking on a Plymouth Argyle side, who are kind of blowing hot and cold at the moment, very strong at home, but finding things a little bit tougher away from home. And I think they'll find it tough here at the King Power Stadium, and I think Leicester are going to come away with a 3-1 victory. Yeah, I can see the Pilgrims maybe getting a goal there. We then move on to the Riverside, moving up to North East Middlesbrough, taking on Ipswich Town. Ipswich just 1 defeat in last 6 matches, and it's 3 wins from their last 4. A good victory against Coventry in their last fixture, and prior to that was a win against Millwall. Middlesbrough in the last fixture, it was a defeat 3-2 against Leeds United. I think they're 3-1 down in that match, but ultimately losing. This one could go either way, but I'm gonna go for, I think there'll be goals in this one. I'm gonna go for a 2-2 draw. Yeah, I'm gonna pull Desmond's on that one. We then move on to Carrow Road, where Norwich City take on Preston North End. Okay, Preston defensively fairly solid, but they've lost their 3 matches. and a very, very surprising defeat against QPR. QPR now up to 22nd position. Norwich winning 3 of the last 4 matches, and it was a very, very, very good win against Bristol City. If this was at Preston, then maybe they'd take something out of this one, but I think Norwich are going to win this one. I think it's going to be tight, but I can see the Canaries winning 2-1. We then move on to Loftus Road, as we just said. QPR now back-to-back wins, only 1 defeat in their last 4, and Hull City, okay, they were defeated in the last match against Watford, which was a little bit of a surprise to me, but another tight one this one. Will QPR make it 3 wins on the trot? I'm not so sure. I think this is going to end up all square, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. We then move on to Rotherham taking on the Jacks, Swansea City. Swansea, like Sunderland, parting ways with their manager Michael Duff earlier in the week. They drew their last fixture against Huddersfield 1-1. I think they were 1-0 down in that match as well, and prior to that was a defeat against Leeds. Rotherham, no wins in their last 6 matches. In fact, they've only won 2 matches all season. Swansea 5 wins. So I mean, is Sheenan in charge for this one for Swansea City, the one of their assistant head coaches to Duff? So can Swansea bounce back? What sort of? This is a very, very tough one to call. I think it's going to end. This is going to end up in a draw. I think this one's going to end up 0-0. Swansea won't win or lose this one, but Rotherham, they'll be going out for the win, but I can't see them scoring against that Swansea rearguard, even though Swansea, you know, they can ship goals. Next up, we got Stoke City coming up at Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday, an excellent 3-1 victory against Blackburn Rovers last time out. And Stoke going through a bit of a bad spell. Defeat against Plymouth Argyle. Can Stoke bounce back in this one? I think they will. I'm going to edge it to Stoke, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 home victory in the final fixture of the weekend for the Championship sees Watford take on Southampton. Southampton are in a very, very rich vein of form. 5 wins from their last 6 matches. Armstrong banging in the goals at the moment. Watford is back-to-back wins, 3 wins in their last 4. A very good win against Hull City, but I think Southampton under Russell Martin, they keep the ball really well. And can Watford? I think Watford can score, but I think Southampton are going to come away with a 3-1 victory. And that concludes my predictions for game week 20 of this championship season. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. Let's see if we can all catch up with Alex Cochran at the top of the Superbru Predictions League. And as I said, if you haven't joined the Predictions League, then all the details are in the description. But for now, enjoy your championship weekend. I've got to get out of here, I've got to get to work, but thanks for joining me. I'll see you all in the next video.